So it's safe to say that AEW have brought a lot of talent into their company as of late, but I'm still asking the question, when is too much? Hello and welcome to FCTR, I am Ewan McQuaid, and today I want to talk about AEW and particularly the new arrivals they have had in the company as of late. Right, so let's get this out of the way. I won't be discussing William Regal in this video because I feel like he could have a video unto himself. No, today I'm talking about the 4 debuts that have taken place in the last month or so. So we're going to talk about Keith Lee, Shane Swerve Strickland, Buddy Matthews and Jeff Hardy. And I'm going to talk about what I think they should do in the company going forward, what feuds I think they should enter, how they should be booked, if you will, a little bit of fantasy booking. So yeah, let's get straight into it, starting off with Buddy Matthews. Now, Buddy Matthews was one of my favourite wrestlers when he was on 205 Live. His matches with the likes of, Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander absolutely killed. So I'm so excited to see him in AEW. I'm so excited to see him a part of the House of Black. But where do they go from here? Will it possibly be a split from the House of Black? Will he turn on Malachi that way? I think personally I want to see the House of Black hold the Trios Tag Team Championships. I think that the House of Black should be the inaugural Trios Champions in AEW. It seems like this is coming perhaps when Kenny Omega returns, but they are the most well put together package, I think, of trios, aside from maybe Undisputed Era. And I think they could do wonders with that. I think they could have a really lengthy reign, really dominant victories, really intense matches, maybe leading to Matthews turning on Malachi. But I think that's a long way down the road. I think they need to stay together as an act to really establish themselves in the main event scene and in the tag division. And yeah, I think that's the way it should go. Either that or maybe, just because I really like the image, Brody King and Malachi having the tag titles. Yeah, the tag titles. And Buddy Matthews holding the TNT Championship. That would be nice. But I think, yeah, inaugural Trios Champions, the House of Black. Next, we will talk about Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is probably my favourite wrestler of all time. The amount of connection that I have to Jeff, the way he brought me in as a fan. He was my number one guy when I first got into wrestling in about 2007, 2008. And he still is. I absolutely adore that man. I adore everything he does. But that being said, I don't see a solo run for Jeff in AEW. I think everything he should do should be tag based with Matt. I think that is the direction to go. I would give them a short run with the belts, maybe winning it off some heels, sort of like Men of the Year or the Acclaimed. If they pick up the gold, I think they could, they would be the right heat magnets for the Hardys to win it off, get that pop, and then maybe lose it a little bit down the line, maybe just a pay-per-view cycle or something like that. I feel like there is a tag title win in the future of the Hardys. From there, I think nostalgia stuff and dream matches is the way to go. Obviously we've got Young Bucks, but also, I'd love to see them against FTR. I'd love to see them against Jurassic Express. I'd love to see them have a face-to-face with Christian. I think that would be quite interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff for the Hardys to do. I think a tag team title win, maybe in a ladder match, because of course. And yeah, from there, I think nostalgia stuff until probably eventually the two of them end up in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, can't wait to see what they do. I'm so excited for the Hardys in AEW. Next, I'm going to talk about Swerve. I nearly said Isaiah. It's really hard to not do that because I've called him Swerve the Realist in the Progress Review. I call him Isaiah Swerve Scott just because he's been called that for so long in NXT. But no, it's Shane Swerve Strickland. this is an interesting one because he's kind of formed an alliance with Keith Lee, who I'm going to talk about in a little moment. But I think the way to go with Swerve is the main event as soon as possible. I think sort of having him be built up in a way with Keith Lee, I think is interesting. And this sort of adds into how I feel about Keith Lee. Keith Lee, I think, I'm going to end up talking about both. So yeah, let's talk about both because they're in this alliance as of now. I think Keith Lee will be at the main event level, but I think the way to go with Keith is to have him win the TNT Championship and do a dominant open challenge series, just putting on banger after banger after banger. I think he can really establish that belt again in the same way Cody did, in the same way Darby did, in the same way Miro did, and I think he would do great with the TNT Championship. Swerve, on the other hand, I feel is ready-made for the main event. You know, he's got the flips, he's got the indie credibility that a lot of the top talent in AEW have, and I think the matches he can put on at that level are fantastic. Matches with Adam Cole, matches with Hangman Page, matches with Bryan Danielson. I think they would all be amazing matches. He doesn't have to win the championship, and I'm not saying he should, but I think he should immediately be slotted into the main event. He should be main eventing Dynamite, in my opinion. So should Keith Lee. But Keith Lee, I feel like, is on a slow burn, whereas Strickland, I think, should be pushed straight away to the main event. So yeah, that is what I think should happen. I think Strickland is probably the most likely to go to the top of the card first out of all of these names. But Keith Lee, they really seem to be building him up and establishing him on a Rampage, which is what makes me think that he might be TNT title bound. If Wardlow didn't win it, I think Keith Lee's the perfect guy to take it off Scorpio Sky. And Strickland, he should just be the main event. Capture that wasted potential that WWE failed to capitalise on. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about all these names. Which one do you think will win a title first in AEW? And I'll try and apply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.